Hello everyone, welcome to the Storyist. They say karma comes back around easily, but that is not always the case. We may forget that we have done something really appalling in the past years, that we think we are experiencing current mishaps by coincidence. But in reality, everything that happens in our lives is connected by an invisible ripple that continues to wave wherever we go. Today, a rude vendor learns this important lesson in our story as she ruthlessly kicks out a little kid from her thrift store. After 20 years, this kid makes her regret her actions. Stay until the end of the video to find out what happened. Evie is in the middle of opening her thrift store when she sees customers starting to come in. She immediately rolls up all the blinds in the windows so that everyone outside can see her window display. She opened her own thrift store 4 years ago when she quit her job in the corporate world. She has always dreamt of holding a higher position in the company she was working in back then. But when her most anticipated promotion did not push through because her boss chose her colleague over her, she decided to finally let go of the corporate world and start her own business, which surprisingly was where she was also good at. After she quit her job from the corporate company, she used up almost all of her savings to start a thrift store business. She rented a small place inside a mall and made it her own shop. She then used another half of her savings to buy clothes to place inside her store. After just a few weeks since opening her store, the sales were good and by far stable. Now, after 3 years, she is still in the same spot at the mall selling thrift clothes. Yet, she has not gone any further like she has hoped for. She thought by now she might be renting a bigger place with more customers coming in. But she's still in the exact position she was in 4 years ago when she opened the shop. And she's earning the same average per day. She's thinking, how can she get further in her business? But she can't think of anything else because what she earns is always just enough for her to pay the shop's rent, buy new merchandise, and pay her only staff working with her in the store. One day, while she's daydreaming about fancy yachts and decorative swimsuits as summer is nearly coming, she sees a little boy come into her store. She frowns a little, thinking what the child might need from her store. He doesn't seem to have anyone else with him, so she thinks he might be lost. While the kid wanders throughout her store, she fixes her gaze on him in case he steals anything. After a while, the kid sees her watching him, and the child smiles at her. She doesn't smile back and just keeps looking intently at him. Then, the kid starts walking towards her. He's approaching her with a kind smile, but she doesn't move her mouth, even to create a small smile back. "Hi ma'am, may I ask for a glass of water? I'm parched and I've been walking almost all day," the little boy begs to Evie. At that moment, her intense look turns more into a disappointment. "We don't offer free water here, kid. Do you see any poster that says that outside?" she replies sarcastically. The boy remains standing in front of her. "Please, ma'am, my mother and I are really thirsty. We just got here by foot," the little boy says. But instead of pity, Evie only hears about the mother the little boy's talking about. She worries about her being filthy and then entering her store with dirty feet. "Where's your mother?" asks Evie. The boy's face lights up, thinking that Evie has taken pity over them. "She's outside, I'll call her," the boy says excitedly, but then Evie crashes his hopes down. "No, don't! I don't want you two spreading dirt all over my store. I don't care how thirsty you are. You need to leave before my customers see you and smell you and refuse to get inside," Evie says harshly. The boy is embarrassed, and not wanting to hear another insult from her, leaves the store. Evie immediately gets a mop to clean all the traces of the boy's feet inside her store. After that day, another 2 decades have passed, and the same thrift store that Evie has opened is still open, and she is still managing it today. But it's in the same state as it was 24 years ago. It is still in the same location, earning the daily average it earns as usual. In short, nothing still has changed. Evie's business in the past 24 years has been stagnant. She still rents the same location at the same mall. She still sells the same styles of thrift clothes. The only difference is that they evolve with the trend. When it comes to her life, something has changed somehow. After 24 years, she is now married and has a daughter, a little girl named Emma, and they are living in quite a simple home. Her dream of becoming rich from her business someday was never met, and she's now just dreaming to have a stable life for her family. Her daughter is about to start her schooling in high school, and she has extra money so she can provide her for her school fees. Her husband is no wealthy man as well. In fact, he works at the mall as a packager and sometimes a delivery guy, so he earns the minimum. One day, while Evie's arranging clothes in her thrift store, good news comes in. "Hey, Evie, have you heard about the owner of this mall's offer for the stores here?" Leo, her staff, asks. She hasn't heard anything about it, so she just shrugs at him, uninterested. The mall owner says he will support 3 store tenants in this mall. He will promote these stores and help sell their products online, all for free. This is good publicity and marketing for us, Evie. This can even improve our store sales. Who knows, this might even be the push you have been waiting for. Leo narrates excitedly. Evie really doesn't want to join the said contest. She is certain she will not win against a long list of the other store tenants anyway. And there is no way their store is more worthy than the others, but she also recognizes that joining in the contest has no fee at all. It's for free, so it won't cost her any money. Just her time to meet the mall owner and impress him with her marketing skills. "Alright then, we will try," Evie answers and continues arranging her merchandise. The morning of the pre-screening has arrived. Evie has prepared her presentation, hoping to impress the mall owner. She has spent all night thinking of ways how her store can differ from the other tenants. She dressed herself up with the cyan satin dress that flowed down below her knee. As she walks inside the office of the mall owner, she can't help but hold her breath for how beautiful it is. It sits at the top of the mall building, which elevates it enough to have such an incredible view. When the mall owner sees her enter, something in his mood changes. She can't tell what it is exactly, but she knows that the ambiance has become more serious than earlier. "I'm Evie Montana, and I'm here to present to you Caricature," Evie says as she opens her brochure. The mall owner doesn't seem impressed, but lets her go on. Evie goes on about why her store is better than the others and why he should sponsor her store. After the presentation, wherein the owner has not injected or questioned anything, she feels like she has done well. But that is when the owner starts speaking up. "If a thirsty kid comes inside your store, what will you do?" the owner asks out of the blue. Evie is confused, but she tries to answer the question. "I will give him water, obviously," she says. "Then why didn't you do that 20 years ago?" the mall owner asks. After that question, Evie sees a picture frame from behind him and the familiar face in it. Turns out the mall owner is a little boy who begged her for water 20 years ago and she kicked him out. "I strive to be successful so I can help people like me before become who I am now. But no, I can't help someone who kicks a thirsty kid out of their store, Ms. Montana," the mall owner says, and he asks security to bring Evie away from his office. Evie can't believe that her simple act of rudeness came chasing after her after 20 years. Karma is indeed real. Maybe not in an instant, but it will come. That's all for today. We hope you enjoyed that video, and we'll see you in the next.